What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so here's the situation we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have a few things I want to cover for you guys in today's video. The first thing, obviously, is the ongoing snowstorm that is impacting the Chicago area, impacting Wisconsin, Michigan, all the areas in between. I also want to talk about the Arctic blast that is inbound right after this system. And I also want to talk about another potential snowstorm that could be striking the mid-Atlantic as early as next week. So we're going to have to pay attention to all these new threats as more data continues to come in. But first and foremost, we obviously need to talk about the snowstorm that's impacting the Chicago area. We have it pulled up on radar scope right here. As of right now, it's mainly a rain-snow mix across much of the area. However, later tonight, as those temperatures start to cool off, we start to get below freezing once again. We're looking at basically the back end part of this storm, and according to a lot of the models, the back end part of the storm is where the majority of the snowfall is going to end up going for a lot of areas in Chicago, for parts of northern Indiana, and for parts of Michigan and Wisconsin. So we're going to have to pay attention to that as we continue to look at these. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this real quickly. First, we need to talk about the latest from the National Weather Service. We have blizzard warnings in effect from South Dakota to Illinois. We're going to go ahead and talk about these real quickly, give you some updates at what we're looking at right here. We're going to start with the Quad Cities over here. Here's the winter storm warning. For the winter storm warning, additional heavy snow accumulations of 3 to 6 more inches as possible. Winds gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. For the blizzard warning, blizzard conditions expected with snow and blowing snow tonight and Saturday morning. Winds gusting as high as 50 miles per hour tonight. And there also is a wind chill watch in effect with dangerously cold wind chills possible. Wind chills as low as 40 below zero are possible for parts of the Quad Cities and parts of Iowa over here. There's also some blizzard warnings for parts of Wisconsin and Michigan that I want to go ahead and go over, as this does impact some potentially big cities such as Green Bay right here. Here's the blizzard warning that we have right here. For the winter storm warning, heavy snow, additional snow accumulation up to 2 inches. For winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. For blizzard warning, blizzard conditions expected. Total snow accumulations of 10 to 15 inches are expected. Winds gusting as high as 50 miles per hour. This is for tonight into tomorrow. So we're going to have to pay attention to this as more information continues to come out. Precaution impacts. Travel could be very difficult. If you're under a blizzard warning or even a winter storm warning, I would strongly advise against travel until the threat has passed. So that's pretty much my 2 cents on this. Just don't travel while this thing's going on. In Michigan, we have a blizzard warning for northeastern Michigan over here. We're going to go ahead and cover this real quickly. Let's go ahead and click on that real quickly, so that way we know what we're looking at. Here's the blizzard warning in effect from 5 p.m. this afternoon until 7 Saturday. Total snow accumulations of 10 to 15 inches anticipated, with localized amounts of 18 inches or greater possible. Frequent wind gusts of 35 to 50 miles per hour expected this evening and tonight. Impacts, worse conditions expected this evening and tonight. Travel could be very difficult to impossible during this time. Widespread blowing snow is expected to lead to significantly reduced visibilities for several hours. Significant drifting may cause tree damage and result in power outages. Dangerous driving conditions are anticipated this evening and overnight, making travel strongly discouraged. Yeah, just don't travel if you're in this winter storm right here. There's been a lot of blowing winds and a lot of blowing snow that we've already gotten reported so far, so we're going to have to pay attention to that. I want to do one last check of the winter storm warning up in Chicago over here, so that way we have a better understanding of what we're looking at. Additional snow accumulations of 3 to 5 inches expected away from Lake Michigan. Winds up to 45 miles per hour expected after midnight tonight. So we're going to have to pay attention to that as time continues to go on. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and show you the models that we're showing you right here. We're going to go ahead and first talk about the snowstorm, look at the potential accumulations with that, and then talk about the Arctic blast that's going to be right behind it. So as of right now, the snowstorm is ongoing on the GF, according to what we're looking at right here. It's expected, there is a bit of a dry slot, though, in around the Chicago area that is kind of going off and on. It has mainly filled in as of right there. But earlier this morning, we had a massive dry slot that was encompassing much of the state of Illinois. Over here, that dry slot's mainly been filled up. And right now, it's more of a rain event for the Chicago area than a snow event, although it's snowing in Rockford, DeKalb, all these areas right there. It is expected to be transitioned back to snow later tonight, so we're going to have to pay attention to that as we get more data right here. The GFS has this thing really blowing up in the afternoon and then into the evening, where the heaviest snow is expected for the Chicago area, for northwest Indiana, even into Michigan, and all these places right here as this thing continues to move and bomb out as well. We're looking at potentially pressure down to 974 millibars as of right now. We're going to have to pay attention to that as lake effect starts to take in, and potentially for the next few days bring a lot of snow to western Michigan, maybe even northwest Indiana, if the wind does let up and move a little bit more southerly. So we're going to have to pay attention to that as more information continues to come in. Here's the total snow accumulations that we have as of right now from the GFS right here. This is mainly zooming into the Chicago area. Over here, for a lot of you guys, we're still looking at anywhere from like 6 to 12 inches of snow as of 6 a.m. when this was initialized, so this thing is likely going to be changed by quite a bit, as this was initialized 6 hours ago at the time of recording this video, so please do keep that in mind. We also have some other stuff that we're taking a look at. We're going to go ahead and show you the HUR run as well. The HUR is showing a similar situation, anywhere from 7 to 12 inches of snow for much of the Chicago area, and even all the way up to Grand Rapids as well, but again, initialized at 6 a.m. This thing's likely going to be changing a lot. If we go ahead and show you the 17Z, it's quite a bit of a difference from where we were before. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. The 16Z, yeah, similar situation. These models are kind of evolving as we continue to show you that. I'm just giving you what we're looking at potentially right here, just to see what we're potentially looking at. 15Z wrap model, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches. That's where I'm thinking is the most realistic scenario at this current point in time, if it does continue to happen. But we are going to have to pay attention to this, as the winds are expected to pick up more tonight and potentially bring some very serious travel conditions to a lot of areas. That's why there are blizzard warnings that have been issued for a lot of these areas. That's why there's blizzard warnings for Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, South Dakota, Illinois. That's why they're all there. So we're going to have to keep a very close eye on it as time continues to go on. Here's the North American model as of right now. This is the 12Z NAM, that likely going to change once the 18Z comes out, so please do keep that in mind. This was initialized at 6 o'clock this morning, so yeah, take it as you will. NAM Nest, similar situation, anywhere from 9 to 15 inches of snow expected for much of the Chicago area, and even into parts of Michigan over here, as the lake effect really starts to kick in as the days continue to go on. But keep in mind, this was initialized at 6 a.m. This is the latest model run that we have, so please just keep that in mind. I know I say that like a broken record, but it's really important because you're probably looking at these values, you're going, "Oh my God, Patrick, are you saying this is going to happen?" Or, "Wait a minute, Patrick, this is a bit unrealistic after this. It's raining right now. What the hell are you talking about?" That's why I'm giving you this disclaimer. This was initialized 6 hours ago. This is just the most available I have for you guys, just so that way I can report this to you. GEM RDPS and GEM GDPS have a similar situation, and the European, which was initialized at 6Z or about midnight last night, has anywhere from 11 to 15 inches of snow falling. So yeah, take it as you will. But this isn't the only thing that I am paying attention to at this current point in time. I'm also paying attention to the Arctic air that's going to be following right after this. Here's the situation that we have going on following this. Here's what we have. We're going to go ahead and show you the temperature. We're going to start about pretty much back to where we are right now. These Arctic temperatures are going to be spreading across the United States, and really affecting potentially tens of millions, if not up to 100 million Americans, pretty much throughout the next week right here. So here's the situation that we have going on. The Arctic blast, after the snowstorm passes, really kicks into the Chicago area and into even a lot of the Midwest, Indianapolis, St. Louis, Kansas City. Gets really cold down to minus 13 as a surface temperature, and areas into Montana are closing in on minus 30. If we go ahead and show you what we're looking at in the Northeast, pretty cold temperatures from this blast that are slowly penetrating through and really bringing that cold air as we continue to take a look at that. So Yeah, pretty much everywhere, everywhere from Maine all the way down to potentially Texas. DFW gets down to 20 degrees from this Arctic blast, from this polar vortex over here. Yeah, it's quite interesting to take a look at this, and even in parts of the Chicago area by by Monday are seeing temperatures of anywhere from -10 to -15 degrees, depending on where you are. It is going to be a bit warmer along Lake Michigan due to those water temperatures over there. But either way, in the negatives, with a little bit of wind, is generally going to bring those wind chill values into effect over there. So we're going to have to pay attention to all of this, and this is not expected to last like a few days. This is expected to last potentially over a week. This is the 17th, the 18th, the 19th, the 20th on Saturday. Still extremely cold temperatures, exceeding all the way down to Alabama if the GFS is the correct model. I don't know if this is or not. This may be overdoing it a little bit, but either way, it's still going to be extremely cold for a lot of areas in the United States, for potentially up to 100 million Americans, including areas like Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C., which is kind of how we segue into this next system that we're potentially looking at right here with a potential snowstorm that we are anticipating, at least that the GFS and the GEM are looking at as of right now, affecting areas in DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York, and Boston. We're going to go ahead and show you that starting along this starting about 5 days out or so. This is January 17th that we're looking at. We start to see some snow starting to organize and develop as a potential nor'easter starts to get its act together, brings up quite a bit of snow to DC, Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston. It should be done within 24 hours, but the totals could be particularly big and across a lot of these areas. Here's the total snow accumulation from the GFS as of right now. The GFS and the GFS to the GEM are kind of looking at it two separate ways. The GFS has this more of an Appalachian and Tennessee snow event right here, like in the upper South that we're looking at. Like there's the GFS calling for snow all the way down as far south as Mississippi and Alabama, which take it as you will, but it's it'll be quite historic if it does impact those areas over there. In the meantime, the GEM GDPS is showing a completely different story. It is still bringing snow to Arkansas. It is still bringing snow to Tennessee, potentially up to a foot of it in a lot of the Appalachian areas over there. It's still bringing snow to the Appalachians, but it's also bringing a lot more snow to the mid-Atlantic, to DC. We're looking at 10 inches of snow. Baltimore, a foot. Philadelphia, 13 inches. And in New York City, anywhere from 12 to 15 inches, and Massachusetts, as particularly Boston, anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of snow. Now, I don't know how realistic this is exactly. We're just taking this with a grain of salt. We're going to keep you updated on that. But for now, what I do know is that there is the possibility, given the fact that we are in a very active January pattern, and we have been over the last few days. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close the video out right here. I really hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us out, helps us make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather, and if you want to see the behind the scenes of these videos and ask me some more questions, be sure to join the Storms United Discord server. The link to that is right over there. But with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.